You see, there's a problem with these teams that lose these close-fought contests. Me personally, I don't know defeats. You know, it's not my. Chris, could I have the microphone unless you're gonna introduce me? I'm sorry. Here for your viewing pleasure is it's James's videos. You know, Mr. Voice Man. He's the football guy. You know him. Come on, James, get on camera.
Good old Christopher Walken. Gotta love him. He's a great guy. Anyway, guys, me, Mr. Voice Man, once again. I owe you guys an apology. I should have been here last week telling you guys what needed to happen for the Eagles to lose to us. I wasn't, therefore we didn't know, and they ended up beating us. So, hey, I've learned my lesson, and I will not be making that same mistake again. So, that being said, let's get right down to business. As you guys know, it was just a devastating loss. You know, we had that game going into halftime, but I guess this new swag that the offense has, it really just kind of disappeared in second. And Cam, as thick-headed as he claims he isn't, decided, hey, we're going to keep passing, even though more than likely you're going to end up missing quite a few of those opportunities. And it came back and bit us in the butt in the end. If we enter that third quarter and we end up running the ball like we should have, considering Ray was averaging, about 11.5 yards per carry in the first half, probably would have come out on top in that game. But, hey, you know, we lose, we move on. And now it's the Patriots tonight, so we got a lot to cover, and we got to get right to it. They have the second-ranked defense in the NFL right now, and it's all part and parcel to their front four. If you guys remember in the AFC Championship game last year, Vince Wilfork, he may as well have been the center for our team because he pretty much made Matt Burke his bitch for that entire game. Flacco had no presence of a pocket. He had no ample time to find anybody downfield or anything. If it was up to Wilfork, he may as well have had Flacco's jersey on because that's how much time he spent right on top of him. They bring another defensive entity this year. His name's Chandler Jones. He's the younger brother of Arthur Jones III, our defensive end. It's kind of been the bright spot. I think just last game he had about 3 sacks on Kevin Kolb against Arizona in a losing effort. So we need to watch that left side. So hopefully Orr or McKinney or whoever will be there will be up to the task. And then it's really up to the interior linemen, that's Harewood, Burke, and Marshall Yonda, to contain Wilfork and anybody else who's coming right up the gut. Because if we cannot set the front of the pocket, Joe's going to be busy back there trying to fend off people and hopefully find some targets downfield. But also, offensive side of the ball. Aaron Hernandez, Gronk's right-hand man, he's gone. Kellen Winslow comes in. Don't see him as being much of a factor, but you can never rule out Gronkowski. We saw what he did last year. Now the Ravens kind of were effective enough in trying to get rid of him and negate him for any chance. Bernard Pollard came up huge in that game, all over him. People say that Pollard rolled his ankle on purpose, but I'm sorry, when you have a 5'9" safety going against a 6'4", 260-pound tight end that runs like Jerry Rice, you gotta do what you can to bring the guy down. So even if you gotta hop on top of his neck and bring him down horse collar, I don't care. Bring the guy down. I just want to see a W out there. But now they bring Brandon Lloyd over from St. Louis, and last time Brandon Lloyd was reunited with Owen Daniels, the O coordinator in New England, really big things happened. Lloyd gives New England that very, very sorely missed deep threat they didn't have last year. And now that they do have that, this really makes for a challenge for our defense, especially after giving up 498 yards of total offense. I mean, it wasn't the Ravens' defense of old. And if we go into this offensive game plan like we did with Philly, we're in for a boatload of hurt tonight. If I remember correctly, stats showed that in the Ravens' offensive play calling in the second half, every time we were in third and short situation, we threw the football. If you come out in 3rd and 2 and you look run, but you can set up pass or you run and set up play action, do something different, you might get better results. But all we did was pass on short situations, but it wasn't even short routes. It was deep routes. We tried going for it all too quick and too early in my eyes. Ray only finished with 14 carries altogether for 90-some yards. He needs to probably come close to doubling that output for if we get a lead early for us to end up getting the W on this one. Because the more time we give Brady on the field, the more time he can pick us apart. Because without any kind of a pass rush, well, we saw what Arizona was able to do to him last week. Supposedly they had a tell of some kind on the offense, the way it was set up, so we know that's going to be changed if it was out in the news for everybody else to hear. But if there's no pressure on Brady and Nod is not putting his big chops in his face, Tom's going to have a very, very good night tonight. Me personally, if I'm drawing up a defensive scheme, I really need to go ahead and switch it up a little bit. And if we have the personnel, I know we do, see if we can't switch it up to a 4-3 instead of the 3-4. So as opposed to just having Mount Cody, Haloti Ngata, and whoever it may be as the front line and 4 linebackers, really need to see some form of a line of Cody and Kimoyatu up front with Ngata and Pernell McPhee as your ends. That helps get some outside pressure, especially on the blind side. They seem to be weak at the left guard and left tackle spot. So hopefully if Ngata can get a mismatch there, he might be able to cause some mayhem in the back side. And Pernell McPhee, he was the bright spot last year on that pass rush line. So hopefully if he gets a consistent start for this game coming up, might be just enough to be able to cause some havoc there and collapse that pocket for Brady quickly. Because we all know if he has the time, he can make anybody pay. So that would just be my personal opinion. If you set up a four-man line and 3 linebackers to protect against the run and short coverage against Gronk, you can leave your corners and Ed Reed out there to cover against Lloyd, Edelman, and Welker, and then also leave Bernard Pollard to help out the other linebackers when it comes to covering that vicious tight end. That being said, my predictions for tonight, if the offense comes out early and puts up points, they need to take a more ground and pound approach in the second half. Because if we just try fling that ball around like crazy, it's going to end up being a long night because Brady will turn those chances and turnovers into points. So defense, definitely tighten the screws compared to last week against Vic. If there's a pass rush of any kind, should be able to take care of business because Brady's definitely not the Michael Vick, and their running game is not like LaShawn McCoy. Over pursuit shouldn't be a problem tonight. So if the D tightens up the screws and the O-line gets a better play calling strategy tonight, I see the Ravens going by a 27-21 total over New England to send them to a 1-2 and start panicking big time. But if there's no pass rush whatsoever, it's going to be a long night, and I really see Patriots coming out on top, 34-27. X Factor, I also have to go ahead and give a shout out here to Torrey Smith. There's a relationship when it comes to brother and brother that I know I'm not privileged to knowing what that feels like. But when that brother has raised somebody from an infant to the age of 20, as Torrey did for his brother Tevin, and then have his life tragically cut short, this is an emotional game itself, and to have that extra charge tonight, I really think you're going to see a humongous game from Torrey Smith in any way, shape, or form he can to try honor his brother in remembrance tonight. So condolences to the Smith family, especially Torrey. And as I say, I look for big things from him tonight. I think, just the emotional charge of losing someone so close and dear, I think he really puts up some huge numbers against a suspect secondary that New England has. So thanks for watching, guys. Sorry I didn't last week, and hopefully I won't have any breaks between now and the rest of the year. We got about an hour and 20 to kick off. So until then, Mr. Voiceman saying, let's go Ravens, and here's for a W.